scheduled a date and time for your live stream. So for
What
me, I'm going to be
is...
streaming tomorrow, Friday, at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So go ahead.
All right. All right, can anyone hear me? Let's see. Volume. How's audio in the room? Rob, thanks for jumping in. How's the audio? Yeah, frame rate seems kind of choppy. I might have it too high. How's audio in the room? Rob, thanks for jumping in. How's the audio? Okay, it sounds good, guys. Give me just another second. I'm gonna stop this stream, and I'll start up again in just a moment. I appreciate you hanging out, guys. Looks like it might be better, but not quite. Okay, still choppy. I'll be right back. Okay, we're trying again. Looks smoother. All right. How's the sound in the chat room, guys? Hey, David. Good to see you here. All right, this looks like it's set up. Okay, guys, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Joe Tillman Show. I am Joe Tillman, your host for the next, I don't know, maybe hour, maybe 2 hours. I don't know. It depends on how many questions you have. And we're going to be taking some calls. Yes, I did say some calls, and I got some phone numbers for you. If you, and I can't put it up on screen because I'm not that advanced yet. So let me pull up the number here. For North America, this is a long distance phone call from the States and from Canada, but if you have nationwide or North America free calling, it shouldn't be an issue. It is area code 424-354-4284. That's 424-354-4284, and I'm putting that in the chat room right now. And for my UK listeners, I have a number for you. That is 44. I think that's kind of a given. 1905-571141. That's 1905-571141. We are going to try and take a few phone calls. I'm going to put that in the chat room as well. There we go. So someone at least give me a call to see if we can test this out, because I want to see if this is going to work. Christos, come on, man. I don't have that many phone numbers. I don't have one for Europe. Sorry about that. This is a first-time attempt for me with some real phone numbers to call, not trying Skype. Let's see. So anyone in the chat room, Rob, why don't you do me a favor? Give me a call on the 424 number. We can just as a short test, 424-354-4284. Let's see, pull up. Rob or anyone, please give me a call because I want to try to test this out. If we can see that it's working, then we can take phone calls and answer questions. If not, then I can answer questions in the chat room. But I prefer to take some phone calls. So someone, Rob, Try it. Hyena. I don't know where you're located, but try to call one of the numbers. Okay, we got a phone call coming through. Hey, you're on the Joe Tillman Show. This is Joe Tillman. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Dave, right on. So I appreciate that. So guys in the chat room, can you hear Dave? Let's see if they can do that. Dave, I really appreciate you doing this, buddy. How's it sound on your end? Okay. And can you hear it on YouTube? Yeah. Of course, there'll be a delay. But can you hear yourself coming through on the side? Okay. Okay. Well, let me see what's going on there. I really appreciate your help here. Let me see if I got juggling a few different things. Exactly. Okay, there's that. See, it should be channel mapping. It should be working. Not sure why it's not. Let's see. Okay, Christo. Let's see. Okay, John. We're trying to test some audio here. I can't answer questions yet. Okay, Christo's saying no, we can't. All right. So, what is going on here? So that is mapping through. Sorry. All right. Give me another test, please. Okay, so I'm going to try this. Audio. Okay. So I think I see what to do. Hold on, guys. Oh no, he's saying he can see us. It's disabled. Let's do. Here we go. Okay. Loop back audio. Okay, give me a check 1 2. Okay. Give me another test. Okay. Hold on a second. I'm listening to the delay. Okay, that's not it. Actually, you know what? This might be it. Now, give me another test, Dave. Okay. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, next, let's see. Let me go back in my settings. We're almost there. We're almost there.
Hear myself. I don't know if I can.
I think this will be it. Give me another test.
Test. Hello.
There it is.
Got it? Oh, there it is.
Dave,
okay,
can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah, see, now I can't hear you.
All right, buddy.
Okay, so I can hear you through the replay, but I can't hear you on my through my earbuds. So just one moment.
Well, the chat can hear me, they're saying.
Okay, Yeah, you're coming through. Everyone can hear in the chat room, but I can't hear you through my. I can't talk to you because I can't hear what you're saying through my earbuds. So just hold tight. Give me another check.
Check, check, check. Testing, testing, testing.
That's it. Okay, so guys in the chat room, you can still hear. You can hear Dave. Dave, give me another check, please.
Check, check, check. Testing.
Right on. Okay, that sounds good. Anyone in the chat room, did you hear anything? No one's responding.
Yeah, he just said yes. FSK
Okay.
said yes.
Okay. That's awesome. So we are up and running. Dave, that's awesome, buddy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no
hey,
problem.
since I got you on the phone, what's the latest with you? How you doing? And what's your story?
I'm good. I'm the guy with Dr. Bloxam.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. How's the progress so far?
It's pretty good. I mean, I'm 10 months, and it's getting better. You know, I was pretty shocked. He said I'm a slow grower, and I agree with him because at 10 months I could see like things thickening up a little bit. So
yeah.
And I actually have a pretty dramatic before picture that he took at the clinic. You interested in seeing that at all, or no?
I'd love to see it. I won't be able to throw it up on the screen because I'm not to that point yet. And
Right.
Benny's saying there's a little bit of an echo on me. I hear it in my headset. I didn't know it was coming through. I might have to try to reconfigure this one more time. Let's see. Hold on a second.
All right. While you're doing that, I'll email that pic right over to you.
Yeah, I'd be happy to have a look at it.
It's info at something, right? Info.
No, it's admin.
Okay. Admin.
ADMIN at hairtransplantmentor.com.
Okay. All right. It's coming over.
Okay. Okay, so Benny's saying I have an echo. Christos says it's okay, and FSK says no echo here. I do hear it myself. Let me turn on my system audio so I can hear the playback. Hold on, guys. I hear a little bit of it. I hope it's not too much. I don't think I can take that out. Let's see. Oh, actually, hold on. 2-millisecond delay.
And that
So
email was sent over, Joe.
guys. What's that?
That email was sent over. I sent it before and after.
Okay, awesome. And how far out are you? How many months?
I'm 10 months.
10 months.
Yep. And Dr. Bloxam says that I'm a slow grower, and I tend to believe him because I still do see things thickening up. So, I mean, who knows how long it's going to thicken up, but, you know, I'm okay right now.
That's good. Let's see here. I think something just came through. No, it's a donor scar SOS reply. Oh, okay, see, I got some more things coming in. Okay. All right. There it is. Got it.
Mm-hmm. So which one are you looking at now?
Top. The top image. Okay. Yeah, that's your before photo. And
I mean, that's a definite Norwood 5.5 or something, right? Wouldn't you say?
Let me go back to that. The top, you are. Well, from the top, it's kind of difficult to see. I mean, I can see the entire area of loss. It's definitely I think you're at the very least a 5A. A 5, you have that bridge of hair across the vertex, separating the crown from the anterior mid scalp and the frontal section. But you have it's almost clean. You got some residual hairs on top, but it's all the way back. I can see the bottom of your crown while you're looking down. So you might even be a 6. How many grafts did you get?
Right. I think I got over 3,000. I mean, close to 3,500.
Yeah. You know, the thing about your case, first off, I remember the frontal third, there was an area in the middle where it looked like it was kind of thinner than the rest of the area placement. That looks like it's filled in. And
Think so?
it looks like it. Yeah. I mean, I can see some areas where the density is a little bit higher and a little bit lower, but it's more of a consistent density. And if I were to guess, I don't have your or if you sent them to me before, I don't recall, but I don't have readily on hand any immediate post-op shots so I could see the placement. But if I were to guess, it looks like there's a fairly even distribution of density across the top. And that actually tells me, I mean, your 3,000 plus grafts on such a large area, it's not going to be really dense because 3,000 grafts isn't really a lot of hair, especially on the size area that you had addressed. This looks to be about the right kind of density and coverage that you can expect for that number of grafts over that large of an area. So far it's looking like a success. I mean, I see that the hair is kind of grown long as well, and that helps with the coverage. But overall, it's looking good. I mean, it's a huge improvement. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, so do you think that like it will just thicken at this point and not really sprout new hairs? Is that what I can expect?
How many months again?
10 months.
10 months. I wouldn't say so much more hairs, but the hairs that you've got will continue to. You'll have some hair shafts that will thicken, because like some of the guys that came in maybe 7 months, those guys might be thickening in diameter, whereas the ones that came in at 4 or 5 or 6 months, they're already thickened, and so you have a disparity in the hair shaft diameter with the earlier grafts that sprouted versus the newer grafts that are sprouting or have sprouted. So those need some more time to also thicken up. I hope that makes sense.
Okay. Now, also, do you think that the reason I might be a slow grower is because I had such a large area to cover? Do you think that makes sense to you?
Well, I don't think it's a slow growing situation. I think, I mean, the reason why such a large area would affect the outcome is simply the number of grafts that were placed in such a large area isn't going to give it such a full appearance, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but the thing that I don't get, though, is that he kind of made the graft placement a little bit more spaced out toward the back of my head.
Yeah.
And toward the front of my head, he densely packed the grafts. Like you can clearly tell in the after shots that it was densely packed in like front triangle. And then toward the back, the grafts were a little more spaced out. But meanwhile, toward the back, it's thicker. So it's like, why would the more sparsely dense area be thicker than the tightly packed area in the front? You follow what I'm saying?
I do. Let me try to pull, because I know you sent me immediate post-op shots. Let me
you want me to send those to you? I'll send them to you right now.
I can find those in just a moment. Let's see. Okay, got your email address. There we go. Let's do a cross-reference. All right. Guys in the chat room, while I'm looking this up, I just want to, and for people that are watching, I just want to let you guys know that my name is Joe Tillman. This is the Joe Tillman Show. Normally it is Spencer Kobren's The Bald Truth with Joe Tillman, but currently the International Society of Hair Restoration Surgeons World Conference meeting, annual meeting, is being held in Los Angeles. So Spencer is really busy talking to various doctors, and I know that he had some doctors in the studio doing some recorded interview segments, different IAHRS members, because there's a lot of them in town right now. So he's been really busy, and he wasn't able to join us for today. I wasn't going to put this on, but you know what? I thought I gotta be here for you guys. I got other things I can do, but we didn't have our Tuesday show, and I didn't quite want to miss out on Fridays. So I appreciate your patience and me with me getting this together. I'm doing a completely different setup than I was doing last Friday. So this is a complete, learning experience for me. So I appreciate your patience and putting up with these little issues like the sound issue. I know I can hear it in my ears right now. I can hear my own echo and it's driving me nuts. But looking at your photos here, let's see. Oh, that's right. You sent me iCloud. That's right.
I sent you an iCloud, but now I'm sending you just files, whatever you call them. I don't know.
Right. Okay, so they're coming up. I think you.
That is kind of weird how like the densely packed area it seems to be thinner than the sparsely packed area.
Oh, there it is.
I don't know.
Okay. Oh, this is your Here we go. My system's running a bit slower. There we go. Yeah, my system's running a bit slower right now because I'm on my laptop and I'm running all of this at the same time. I didn't set up my my Windows PC to do this. Oh, there we go. All right. So looking at this image now. Yeah, I see that stark. There's actually a pretty stark demarcation across the top of your scalp where it's denser up front and more spread out in the back.
Meanwhile, there's more coverage in the back, which is strange. 10 months later, it seems to be more coverage in the back, it looks like to me.
Okay. Let me transition to a newer photo.
10-month shot.
Yeah, 10-month shot. Well, okay, keep in mind that the from that demarcation line, in other words, the vertex and the areas in the back of your scalp, I think that they have stronger coverage only based on what I'm seeing in this photo, because the hair in the mid scalp is being brushed back and it's kind of building on top of itself. The front of your scalp doesn't have that. That's the beginning of the brush back. So it doesn't have any hair in front of it being brushed back over that as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so the back has the benefit of having some hair to shingle itself off of, but the front doesn't have that benefit.
Correct. Now, you might, I'm reminded, I'm looking at the photo of your immediate post-op, and I'm reminded of the issue in the mid-front third, where it was a lower density early on. That might still thicken up. Okay, because in general, your case. I remember seeing it, and I thought maybe you bumped your head at some point, or maybe you had some scar tissue. And did we discuss some sort of scar tissue at one point?
Yeah, because you saw some blood, and you thought that I might have popped a graft.
Yeah,
a graft.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. So that actually might take some more time to fill in. There are situations where if it's scarred over, or if you did bump it, it can take longer to recover and then longer to have some new hair grow through. So that might still thicken up. So you're at 10 months.
But I didn't bump my head at all, and I didn't lose a graft, guaranteed. I know that for a fact. So maybe there was some trauma there, like after the surgery or during the surgery, but Dr. Bloxham says it's all good. No, didn't lose a graft. At my 10-day appointment, afterwards, he said everything was fine.
Okay. Well, at the very least, you do still have time for those hair shafts to thicken up, and I do remember that that mid scalp area, or the middle of the frontal third, did seem to have some delayed growth, as if they weren't coming through with at the same time as the hair around it. So that hair or that area, those hair shafts can probably thicken up some more over time. So give it another 2 or 3 months before you give your final opinion about this. And
okay.
Yeah, and just continue to send me some photos, because I want to see how this winds up turning out for you, and and we'll just check it out then. How's that sound?
I mean, listen, if you really give a shit, I mean, I sent you that iCloud link, so it's, I update that every Monday, so you could just check that out if you're really curious.
That's why it's taking so long. You probably got a whole bunch of photos in there. Yeah. So
yeah. So, I mean, that's always updated if you care and you want to,
I care. It's just a matter of being able to remember.
I know.
No, this is, holy, good God, you got a lot of photos in here. Okay. Yeah, it's looking good. So it's looking good as far as your documentation goes. It's good.
I remember I called you at 6 months. I was really worried, and you guys kind of scared the shit out of me a little bit, But I'm feeling better now.
Well, that's good. And sorry to scare you, but it's like we call it how we see it, and if it doesn't look right, or if there's something that we gotta question, we're going to. But here's the thing, like I said before, there was that area that looked a bit thinner. I do feel like that's coming through a bit stronger, and because it was probably delayed at that time, those hairs that were popping through, that hair shaft will get thicker, and hopefully that kind of blends in and balances out that frontal density for you. But I do also believe that the back looks thinner because of the hair in the front being brushed back and adding to the hair that's already in the back. That's also giving it that thicker look that you're noticing in your photos.
Okay, gotcha. And also, Dr. Bloxham said that hair tends to mature in stages, like different parts of the head mature at different times. It all doesn't happen like peeling an onion, or like it doesn't grow. Everything doesn't mature at the same time. Parts of the scalp mature in different phases.
And that's because hair, the placement on the scalp, those hairs sprout at different times, and so logically they mature at different times as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
I appreciate the call, Joe, and I'm glad I could help you get things up and running.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the call.
All right, you got it, buddy.
All right, take care.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
All right, everyone. So like I said, this is the Joe Tillman Show. Spencer Kobren is out of the office. He's gone fishing. I wish that were the case. He's actually busy with a bunch of doctors from the ISHRS. They got their World Conference meeting going on right now. So I am winging it all by my lonesome. And if you want to call in, I've got 2 different phone numbers for you to call. In North America, it is area code 424-354-4284. In the UK, you can dial 1905571141. Let's see, got some, there we go. Any questions in the chat room? Not really seeing any here. So you're feeling my systems here. They're getting hot. Pushing all this different software, video and audio. Okay. Guys, if you don't call in or put some questions in the chat room, I am shutting down because I got stuff to do. FSK. By the way, FSK, your procedures last week, how you feeling so far? In fact, give me a call. You got a UK number you can call now. Let's see what do I do with those numbers. UK number is 1905571141. Give me a call. Tell me how it's going. North America 424-354-4284. I am copying and pasting these into the chat room again. Let's see. There we go. That is for North America. And here is for, oops, I'll grab this. For the UK show or the UK callers. Oops. I'm having an issue in my audio. Sorry about the taking, guys. I know, hold on. Not sure what's going on. God damn it. I have no idea what's going on. You guys hear that? Everyone's canceling the... Can you guys hear me? That was bizarre. Should be okay. I don't hear any problems on my end. Rob, can you hear me? Okay, so Jamie White. Okay, yes, we're still the echo. I get it. Okay. So we're back, and like I said, this is the Joe Tillman Show. Spencer is away, so it's not Spencer Kobren's The Bald Truth with Joe Tillman. It's just Joe Tillman. I do have some phone lines open. I have for North America, area code 424-354-4284. Sorry, it's 424-354-4284, and in the UK, it's 1905571141. FSK, give me a call. Let's hear about your ASMED experience. I'd love to hear how it went. I'd love to hear what Dr. Erdogan was telling you about your procedure and what you can expect. Anyone else wants to call in, that's fine. Like I said, I am here for you guys. I did see a question in the chat room earlier. Was it from Christos? Do blood vessels play a role for bad hair growth at the crown? Well, blood in general plays an issue. What you have to understand is that the scalp is the most vascular part of your body. There's so many capillaries, so many vessels, so many veins. So blood supply usually isn't an issue unless there's either a pre-existing condition, like if you got a lot of scar tissue, like if your head was beat up during a lot of hockey or rugby or football, anything like that. Or if there are issues after a procedure that can damage not just the follicles that were placed, but also the blood supply. So it's a good question, but in general, the blood vessels in the crown are just as strong as they are in the front. And I think that the reason why you're asking that is because a lot of people say that the crown takes longer to fill in than the front. That's not generally accurate. And the reason being is because I think that when people have crown work performed, like if they have a big procedure where they have the front, back, and crown done all at once, or if they have just the hairline done or the frontal section done and then the crown done as well, and they don't have to do the mid-scalp. Traditionally, grafts are placed at a lower density in the crown than they are in any other part of the scalp. And so I believe that the reason why some people or a lot of people say that the scalp takes or the crown takes longer to fill in is because the density isn't as strong at the same point in time as, say, the front or the mid-scalp. So it looks weaker. And people kind of attribute that to slower growth. I'm not a big fan of that idea because every procedure I've had in the crown, the time that the crown started to fill in was no different than the front or the mid scalp. So I hope that answers your question. Let's see, who else we got? Jamie White would love to phone in sometime. Well, phone in now. No one's on the phone. Studied hair loss for 15 years. As for my own experience, been on finasteride for 8 years. Had two procedures done. Feel great now. Age 26. There is hope out there. Yes, there is. Good for you. Morty, I didn't think I was going to make it either. You should give me a call. I got a phone number for you. Area code 424-354-4284. I would love to hear from you. And yes, I got your photos. And then Jamie, single hair grafts in the crown and hairlines. That's what. Sometimes single hairs aren't always used in the crown, and sometimes they're not necessary for the crown. Sometimes bigger grafts are necessary in the crown for the coverage issue. That's a whole discussion there. Let's see, any other questions? I don't see any questions. Guys, I went through the trouble of setting up 2 phone numbers. I paid for these phone numbers just so that you could call. If you're not going to use them, then I will be hanging up. I will be stopping the stream so I can go edit some video. For North America, it's area code 424-354-4284. In the UK, it is 1905-57-1141. Lines are open. Morty, I will copy paste the number for you. Put it in the chat room. It will grab. There we go. 4 and there we go. Morty, that's the number. It's a California number. Beverly Hills, give it a call. Zagond, fire the audio technician. If we do that, then we got to fire the video guy, which means that this stream goes offline. So sorry about the echo. I know it's bad. But if someone calls in, it'll actually be fixed. Morty, call. I am gone in 5 minutes or less. Let's see. Looking at some messages coming through. Okay. For anyone that is just now joining us, this is Joe Tillman and the Joe Tillman Show. Usually it's Spencer Kobren's The Bald Truth with Joe Tillman, but Spencer Kobren is gone fishing. He's not around right now because of the ISHRS World Conference, which is in Los Angeles right now, which means that he's got a lot of people he's been dealing with, a lot of doctors. He's been in the studio recording some segments, and then he had to leave the studio and said, I can't do the show tonight. And I said, well, I will try to do it myself. So here we are. Jamie White, Joe, do you genuinely believe that there will be a complete cure for hair loss within the next 10 years? No, I do not. There's the potential, but it's tough to say. All right, we've got a call coming in. Let's see who this is. Hey, thanks for calling. Who is this and where are you calling from?
It's Maury from Florida.
Maurice from Florida. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Doing okay. Trying to juggle some things here at the same time. First time doing the phone calls on the Joe Tillman Show. I appreciate you calling in. What's new? What's shaking? How's Florida?
Florida it's warm. You know, I'm still trying to accommodate, obviously, the big life change from New York City to Florida. So that's still in process.
Yeah.
I had an interesting blind date on Monday. It didn't work out, but the interesting thing was, and this is kind of relevant, she's a dermatologist.
Okay.
Okay. And we got to talking, and guess what she's going to be offering?
PRP.
There you go.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, Lord. Yeah. So, you know, at the end of the day, the young lady, she seems to be doing very well. I mean, she does a lot of the fillers and the Botox and all that kind of stuff. So she's going to be doing it. So I figured I'd share that with everyone.
Well,
so that was interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. But let me ask you this: did you how did that even come up? I mean, did you talk about your own experience? Did you give her a little bit of insight into your story?
Well, yeah, we talked a little bit about it, and we talked about I asked her if she was a dermatologist. I asked her what she did for a living. She said she was a dermatologist. I said it's very interesting. I said, what do you do? Is it mostly cosmetic? Do you do therapeutics? And she said, and she talked about, she brought up PRP to me. So my guess is she looked at my head and she's like, okay, here's a prospective customer. Basically, basically what I think was going on. But
the question has to be asked then: if she's looking at you as a client, did she pay?
Mm-hmm. There you go. I was a gentleman. I'm sorry, I couldn't do that. I asked her out, so
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, we're not going to see each other again, so that's okay.
Well, now I have to ask why. What happened?
Well, she actually turned me down. She's like, "Well, I don't think we're a really good match," and I was like, "Okay, yeah, like all right, fine, whatever." She drives a Lexus. I drive a Civic. She lives by the water. I live out here.
She's looking. Okay, so how old was she, by the way?
40.
Okay, yeah, she's looking for a long-term financial hookup. That's what she was looking for.
There you go.
Yeah.
And she's already doing pretty well for herself. I mean, like I said, so she's looking for somebody with deep pockets. And where I live in Weston, it's very wealthy around here.
Yeah.
I am, I'm not poor, but I'm not rolling in it, So it is what it is, it is what it is. Listen, I actually sent you an email earlier. You probably haven't had a chance to look at it, but
I did actually, and I'm gonna.
Oh, you did? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
The problem is I can't pull it up on my screen because I'm not using Skype. I usually connect with Spencer, and we do the split screen through all the voodoo that he does, but using Skype. I'm not using Skype for this broadcast, but I did get your photos, and I gotta tell you, it's how many months is this?
Well, I think you looked at the photos are dated. So one of them I think is I want to say it's probably March of 2018, and the more significant one is about a week ago.
Yeah. So March was before, and then a week ago. So that's March to October. Your progress on finasteride.
Yep.
That's impressive.
It's shocking, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, that's really good progress. So that's 5 months: April, May, June, July, August, September. 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 7 months. And let me tell you, you actually have more to look forward to because this is great progress, but the efficacy usually operates on about a 2-year vertical. So
really,
yeah. So
this is actually going to get better.
It is going well. I think it will.
Sorry, 1 second.
It doesn't always continue like that, but that's what the studies found, and that's what a lot of my patients have shown, that it continues to get better. It may slow down, like the rate of improvement may level off a little bit, but statistically, it's going to continue to get better to varying degrees for the next another year and a half of potential improvement. Yeah. So
wow, that's amazing.
Who is it? FSK. Dan, put it up on the screen. Let's see. Well, I can turn the camera to show my screen here. So let me see here.
Yeah. The reason I sent it to you is because Nico was asking like a week or two ago about it, and I was like, but I figured, if you wanted to see really good photos, I had some really good photos because I've been a bit meticulous about documenting this.
Yeah.
So I figured, why the hell not? Let me just send it up. And I tried to get the same positioning and nearly the same lighting in both cases, so you had a good idea.
Yeah, no, it looks great to me. The guys in the chat room are like, they're saying it's too bright, and it is too bright. But that's just, I can't fix that, guys, because the monitor
I know. Don't worry
is
about
actually very not bright on my end, and I can't adjust that. So I tried, guys. Sorry. Just trust me, it's a really nice improvement if you know what you're looking at. I'll put it like this: Morty didn't even have peach fuzz on the top, and now you've got more than peach fuzz. You've got how would you describe it?
Well, I would say, the mid-scalp, there's a fair number of terminal hairs that you can see. They're quite visible.
Yeah.
The forelock has actually grown. It's still very thin and weak, but it's visible.
You know what? Here's the thing. This is the beautiful thing about having even that thin forelock that's grown. You had nothing there. Yeah, actually, in your before photo, there was one terminal hair that I could see, and nothing else. And now I'm looking at a really nice sized patch of forelock with a lot of really fine hairs, and that alone is actually giving a frame for your face. Tell me I'm wrong.
That's exactly what you saw. No, absolutely. That's what you saw in my driver's license photo.
That's right.
The shitty driver's license camera picked that up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased with what's been going on.
How long ago was that
in a moment of
photo taken?
That was taken, I couldn't hear, about a month. So I guess probably about about a month ago. I've been here 2 months now. So yeah, probably about a month ago.
No, I'm talking the first one, your earlier.
Oh, that one? Yeah, that was 2014.
Okay, so you just knocked almost 5 years off your appearance.
That's pretty sweet, isn't it?
That's fantastic. Good for you, man. Good for you.
You
gotta feel great about that.
Yeah,
I'm really happy for you because that's just solid. It's solid progress. It really is. And like I said, it can just get better from here.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have done it if I hadn't listened to you guys, man. If I hadn't seen your show, all of it. The fact that I didn't go straight to the doctors or any of that type of stuff. I'm very happy, and it's good to hear that there's more to come. That's really exciting. The last thing I wanted to share was, in a moment of weakness, I decided to call a few more doctors. So yeah, I spoke to Dr. Cole because I've been seeing his presence lately on your show.
Yeah,
and he's very vocal, and I was also reading the stuff in FU Europe, which I think is pretty much he's like the big dog for that.
He's the editor.
Document.
Yeah, he's the editor. The first issue of the magazine was out, I think, several weeks ago, and then they just released issue number 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, which is a completely different animal. The first issue was, a lot of it was Dr. Cole because he was the editor, and being a brand new online magazine, there weren't a lot of contributors, but you look at the current issue and that's a completely different story. 134 pages, 17 contributors, I think that's what it was. Anyway, yeah, a lot of people contributing, but yeah, Dr. Cole he's the editor, so there's some obvious contributions from him for sure.
Yeah. And I read your article, and I read Spencer's article, and I also read Dr. Cole's article, and I was like, you know what, let me give this guy a call. He's not far. He's in Alpharetta, which is a hop, skip, and a jump from where I am.
Yeah.
And, so I called. I got, I think, what's her name? Phyllis or Nicole, his secretary, I forget her name. Anyway, so she took my photos, and I told her about my experience with Dr. Wesley, and we talked about price, and we talked about the way we talked about scheduling and whatnot. It's interesting that the two of them are very different in terms of the way they deal with their patients. So yeah. Wesley was like, you can't even talk to me unless you drop $250. Cole's like, yeah, you can come in for a free evaluation. I'm like, wow, that's a big difference. The other interesting thing is that Cole's price is actually higher than Wesley's price, which is surprising because Wesley wasn't cheap. Cole was more aggressive in terms of hair count. Wesley was like 2,700. Cole's like 3,000.
Okay.
But the price. The other interesting thing is that Cole gave me a price per graft, while Wesley had the sliding scale. Basically, there was like a minimum, and then basically it slide up in terms of a number of hairs, and then it got capped. So
more of a package price, right? Or like package 1, package 2, package 3.
So that was kind of different.
Not literally for his practice, but he has like a small, medium, and a large. Is that how he does it?
Yeah, because he was asking for 17.5 for 27. Cole wanted like 24 for 3,000.
Okay,
is what it actually worked out in terms of numbers. So if you took the graft divided by total.
Hold on 1 second. I'm getting feedback here again. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah.
There we go. You there?
Yeah.
Maury? Okay.
Yeah. I can hear. Can you hear me? Okay, cool.
I can hear you just fine.
So
I
yeah.
figured
So
out what the problem is. So I think my echo just. No, I think it's coming back now. Yeah, guys in the chat room, how's the sound now? I can ask you more because you're on the phone with me.
Yeah, no, I've got the other line muted. You were echoing when I was listening to you. So.
Let's see. Okay. Sorry. Continue your story.
Yeah, no worries. So the math. Cole's $8 a graft up front, and then it's just times however many grafts. And Wesley, package deal. And if you did the math, Wesley's per graft cost was lower. Is the way it worked out. I think it was like $675 a graft is what it worked out at 2,700 grafts for Dr. Wesley.
Okay.
Dr. Cole, he seems to, but again, the flip side is that like Dr. Cole's like, oh, we run sales, in this and that. I was just like, okay, this is a very different approach.
Yeah.
It's I have to admit, I mean, while I have a lot of respect for, the writing, Dr. Cole seems very knowledgeable. Plus he seems like he's quite an innovator. His sales, he's like treating it like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like the kind of conversation you'd be having with a person who's going to cut into you.
Was that with Dr. Cole? Was it with?
With Dr. Cole. Dr. Cole. No, Dr. Wesley. Well, no, Dr. Wesley was. Again, maybe it's just the New York sophistication versus Georgia. I have no idea, but it was different. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I don't think that is going to matter a hill of beans in terms of whether a doctor is capable of doing a good job or not. It strikes me as odd that somebody like Dr. Cole would do a face-to-face consultation for free. Especially considering how valuable his time is, and more importantly, that he has different prices depending on how busy he is.
Right.
That they're going to run a special in the off season. I'm like, we're not talking about hotel rooms here. You know what I mean?
True. And let me just interject. There was someone just trying to call from the UK. I do appreciate the call, but I don't have a hold system. So once I'm finished with this call, then I'll give you the cue and you can try calling in again. I do appreciate the call. So, what you're talking about, Maury, is something that, I've talked about before, and I know Spencer's talked about. And unfortunately, this is part of the industry that I think needs to be looked at differently, or I think it needs to be approached differently from the industry. Fire sales, as it were. Not a fan. I think that... any doctor that, and this has nothing to do with any specific doctor, but any doctor that has any sort of real experience and has a consistent record of excellence, I don't think that they should put themselves in a position where they're offering these fire sales. And I think that, and I got another call. Sorry guys. Cannot accept these calls. There we go. You still there?
Yep, still here.
Okay. So the issue I feel is that it cheapens the procedure, and I think that physicians and clinics that have experience and obviously do a great job and consistency with the results, I think that they need to avoid that kind of approach because if anything, it's putting them in the same category as the how can I describe it? The kinds of clinics that
The mills, yeah.
well, yeah, you can say the mills. Not all of them are mills, but honestly, I think that that's the tactic of a real self clinic, and that's when I say a real self clinic, I'm talking about clinics that are bringing in FUE or bringing in hair transplant surgery as an adjunct, or they don't have the most tasteful advertising strategies, if that makes sense. Used car sales tactics are what I kind of tend to associate with real self type of clinics, and almost all the clinics out there are on real self. Because Real Self has done a great job of putting themselves out there as a resource that clinics need to be in or be on. But I don't like Real Self for the way that it's cheapened the industry. And unfortunately, there are clinics out there that feel that they have to compete with the guy down the street by also being on Real Self. And then they come up with these strategies that kind of mimic these guys down the street. And I just think that's the wrong way to go about things. But I will say that I don't think that you should judge the clinic in this particular case based on that kind of approach. I know Dr. Cole personally. He does great work. Never had any problems with his work. In fact, he's for naturalness, I think that he's one of the contenders out there. So yeah, I mean, try to look past that and look at the work and just go from there.
Yeah, I hear you. Well,
this means that you're looking at surgery again, and you know how I feel about you in surgery.
How you guys feel about that? Yeah. Well, what I told, but I was going to finish was I told the secretary that I wasn't planning on anything until next year summer, because that's around the time that would be around close to a year mark that I started on the finasteride. Now you're giving me a 2-year deadline, a two year limit. Because that's the thing. So I told her, listen, I'll talk to you in January is what I told her.
Yeah.
So that's because that's how I'm playing it. I'm playing it month by month, because that's what's happening on my head. It's happening literally month by month, day by day. So,
okay.
That's kind of what I'm doing.
All right.
Yep. And then we'll see how it goes. That's it. So, dude, it's great talking to you. I'm glad to see that you're striking out on your own. Congrats that you're taking calls now, which is awesome. And I hope. I hope and pray that you can have more Joe Tillman shows in the future.
Well, we'll see if Spencer decides to get back onto a regular schedule of actually doing some work. We'll see if that works out. But I prefer to have him next to me because it makes things a lot easier. Scott, I know there's an echo, but
you guys ping pong very well
on Skype. He's back in the studio, but we're back at home anyway. But anyway, I appreciate the call, and it's always great hearing from you. And sorry guys about the echo. I hope it's manageable. FSK, send me an email with the link. I can put the link in the chat room so that when you call in, people can open up a new browser window and look at the results while we talk. The email address.
Listen, I'm going to drop off.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maury, thanks again for calling, and keep us updated. Okay.
You got it. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye. So, so FSK, the email address is admin@hairtransplantmentor.com. That's admin@hairtransplantmentor.com. Send me the link to that email address, and then pick up the phone and call. In the UK, that number for you is 1905-571141. We're going to leave the see, messages come through. We're going to leave the line open for FSK. Okay. Let's see. Are you going to call in FSK? See, looking for the email. Not seeing it. It'll come through. Give it time. Okay, I think I know who this is. Hey, you're on with Joe Tillman. Thanks for calling. Where are you calling from?
My boy, it's FSK calling.
FSK in the house. What's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. How you doing?
Great. Just trying to juggle these resources, make this thing work, man.
Yeah, I was just a bit nervous calling. Actually, it's the first time I've called a radio show.
Well, no worries, man. Always remember the snakes are more afraid of you than you are of them. Wait, that didn't make sense.
Yep.
You know what I
yeah.
mean.
Oh, something like that. Yeah.
All right, so I got your email here. Let me grab this real quick. It takes forever to open because my laptop is struggling under this load. Okay, so I got images here, but I don't see a link. Did you?
Yeah, because what it is, I sent the pictures first.
Right.
And then you told me to send the link, so then I sent that in a separate email. So.
Okay, great. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Wow, that's some great photos, by the way. Let's see here.
Thanks.
Go back. Still waiting on the other email. So while I'm waiting on that, just tell me about the experience. You hopped on a plane. You flew to Istanbul. Did you stay at the what's the name of the hotel? The Ritz.
The Ritz, I wish. It's the Radisson Blu.
Oh, the Radisson. Yeah, that's right. Radisson Blu.
Yeah. Actually, the new clinic that they're building is actually right next to that.
Oh, okay. Is it across the street from it?
It's literally on the same road.
The same road? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I remember that area from a few years ago. 'Cause it was in 2015. I was there twice in 1 month, and I remember the area around that hotel was still kind of. It looked like it was fairly new, like some new development going on. So that's a great location for them. Absolutely.
Yes, it definitely is.
Yeah. So I'm going.
Have you had a look at my photos?
I have. I'm waiting for the
what
link
do you
to come
think?
through so I can.
Maybe I can send it again.
Let's see.
I'll just try sending it
I want people
again.
in the chat room to be able to see it. Unless I can actually go to Bald Truth Talk myself, and then I can grab the link as it comes up. Let's see. And was this hair restoration in Turkey? Is that the name of it?
No, it's not. If you type in Koray Erdogan, then it should come up as, should be one of the recent ones there.
What's the
520 grafts.
Okay. Okay. So you are. Okay.
But
so I see your
there's a
username.
few links on. Yeah, there's a few links on there which didn't work. I've just sent it to you again, actually.
Okay. Let's try this one. Wow, big write-up. Okay.
Yeah, ignore all that. It's all
There we
bullshit.
go. Okay, so I'm going to take this link.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put it into the chat room here. So guys that are watching and can see the chat room, here's the link to Bald Truth Talk. It is FSK's personal experience going to ASMED and Dr. Koray Erdogan. And you can watch that and listen to the patient tell his story. So, so go ahead and start. You got there, you got to the airport. I'm sure they had a driver waiting for you. Take it from there.
Yeah, so there was a driver waiting there, and as soon as he saw me, he gave me the phone, and it was my coordinator. And she said, "Don't worry, everything's going to be fine. The drivers are going to take you to the hotel, and then she's going to give me a call the next day about the time for the consultation."
Mm-hmm.
So basically, that first evening, I just chilled out, went out and had something to eat. The hotel was really nice.
Yeah,
And that's about it really on the first day, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's good. And so did you get there in the morning or the evening?
I got there in the evening, so that's why I couldn't have the consultation on the same day.
Yeah.
So that gave me an extra evening just to chill out, really. I mean, it was probably a blessing in disguise, because the last thing I wanted to do was get off a plane and go straight to the clinic and get a consultation done.
Yeah.
So it was much better like that.
First time to Istanbul?
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was a really nice city. Really nice city.
I love Istanbul. Some of the best food anywhere. I'm a huge foodie, and Turkish food, or as they like to say, Ottoman food, to me is my second favorite behind Italian. It's fantastic. I love it there.
Well, I actually went out into town.
Okay.
With all the lines in my head.
Yeah.
So.
Nice.
Yeah. So me and this other guy got a lot of stairs. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Oh, so you didn't have a hat? They didn't give you a hat to wear out and about?
Well, they said if you wear a hat, then you might rub it off. So I just didn't want to risk anything. So I just went out like that. I thought this might be an experience.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, respect for walking out in public with lines drawn on your head. That's good. But you know what? A lot of them know exactly what's going on. So some of the people that were eyeballing you were probably like, okay, yeah, hairline shape looks good. Yeah, he'll have a good result.
Yeah, maybe. But there's one woman, she couldn't stop giggling, honestly.
Good stuff. So, okay, so day of surgery, how'd that work out? You showed up, and what'd they do?
So, are you talking about the consultation day or the day after?
Let's talk about your consultation day.
Yeah, so he basically said, obviously he does quite high numbers, as you know, so 5,000 grafts. As you can see from the pictures, I've got quite an unusual type of hair loss. Yeah,
I'm seeing on your, I'm looking at your before photos. And they always, Asma always has great photos. Your before images, I'm seeing. So it looks like on your, I think this is your left side, you still have the remnants of a temple point. But on your right side, it looks like it's pretty much gone. And this indicates that you have some sort of retrograde, like a slight case of retrograde alopecia. Did he mention this?
I'm not sure if he used that exact. I think he did use that word. Yeah.
Okay.
What exactly does that mean? That word?
Well, it simply means that you have multiple hairlines on your scalp. You've got the hairline that traditionally people think of when you talk about a hairline, but then you have the sides where the temple points are, and then you have the neck, basically the nape. And you can recede, and there's also above each ear. You can recede vertically up from the nape of the neck. You can recede up from above the ears, and you can recede backward on the sides from the temple points towards your ears. And when you have that kind of recession, that's usually referred to as retrograde alopecia, which means that in some cases, in yours in particular, some of your donor hair, and I say your donor hair cautiously, because sometimes donor hair is considered to be in the nape. Some doctors will take hair from the nape of the neck. That hair is susceptible to DHT. Hair above the ears, susceptible to DHT, and in the temple points, also susceptible to DHT. So those areas can thin or recede, and that's why I've never been a huge fan of taking nape hair, because while it can grow great, and that's truly finer hair for stronger, or for not stronger, but for the most natural hairlines possible. It's also susceptible to DHT, so at any time in the future it can thin out and fall out. So not the best donor supply. Doesn't look like he really went into any of those areas for you, which is a good thing. But he mentioned you have retrograde.
I'm pretty sure he said something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So I started drawing and talking to you about your case.
Yeah. So basically, he said, I wanted my my temples done, and he said, he quite reluctantly said, he really doesn't want to do the temples, because he thinks that the crown,
temple points.
The complete temple, so the whole box.
Okay.
The side.
Because, and just for clarification, the temple points are the triangular tufts on either side behind your eyebrows.
Yeah. So he didn't want to do that.
Okay. Yeah. And
the reason
why did he say that was?
Because I know usually the priority is given to the hairline and maybe the temples, and you work your way back.
Yeah.
But he said, because of my unusual hair loss, the crown really stood out, and he really wanted to fill in the crown.
Mm-hmm.
So he said for the temple points, that would be another 700 grafts just for the temple points.
Yeah.
So he said he'd rather use those in the crown, and then maybe in another procedure you can think about something like that. So he goes, it's entirely up to you. I can do it that way, or you can do it my way, which I recommend. So I went with his way.
Hold on one second. I gotta take care of this hissing sound. There we go. And we're back. Okay. Got rid of the hissing sound.
What?
I understand what he's saying, and I agree with I agree with that approach, but also I think that you had two options, or I would have given you two options. I would have said that you can do the front and the back, being the frontal scalp and the crown, and then come back and do the temple points at a later time, like he was talking about. Or, and this is an option that I personally would have recommended. This is an option that I probably would have had myself, or taken myself, is to do the front and the temple points in one go, and then come back later and do. And here's the thing: you can do more grafts in the second pass and allocate them just for the crown, than if you were to spread things out with what he's getting in this first pass. If that makes sense. So do the front, do the temple points, knock that out, call it a day, or 2 days in your case. Come back in a year and a half, whenever you're ready, and that procedure would be dedicated to only the crown, and then any sort of touch-ups, refinement that you might need in the hairline, temple points, which would be a lot less grafts for that area. So maybe a couple hundred extra ones on top of, say, a 2,000 graft crown restoration. But again, either way is fine. It's 6 to 1, half dozen to another. It's really no difference in the long run.
Yeah, he did mention that I've got quite thick hair, and for temples you usually need quite soft hairs.
Yeah.
So it might be difficult to get those type of hairs from my temples, and it might look unnatural.
So you're saying your hair is a coarse type of hair shaft?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he wasn't. He said he'd do it, but he wasn't too keen on it at that point.
Yeah.
But I'm actually hoping. If for example, if in a year and a half I went back again, obviously I've had a procedure once. So would my donor hair obviously naturally thin up anyway and be more suitable for temple points?
Well, he's talking about the hair shaft. The hair shaft is too coarse for temple points, and the hair diameter, the coarseness, the hair shaft itself, isn't going to change after a hair transplant. The only thing that changes that is what's called senile alopecia, which means that as you get older, the hair shaft will reduce in size. It's not being miniaturized due to DHT. It's just it's thinning over time. will that happen to your hair shafts? Maybe with time, I don't know, but not because of a procedure. So what he's saying makes a lot of sense. I'm looking at your hair, and I don't. It's hard for me to see in these before photos just how coarse your hair is because it's wet. But based on what I'm seeing, I would question just how coarse it is, and I think that the bigger issue is more of the contrast of color. You have black hair, and it looks like you're, I don't want to say pasty white skin, but you're somewhat fair-skinned, if I'm saying this correct.
Yeah.
You would agree with that?
Yeah, I'm unusually fair for my ethnicity, so.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. So that's the real challenge, is putting basically black hair on a very white scalp or very white skin. That's when you have to have an exceedingly high level of refinement for each individual graft, single hair graft that's being placed into the temple point. And if it's not of a superior, I'm talking really high level of refinement, then it will stand out to varying levels of observation from those around you or yourself looking in the mirror. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, because I don't think ASMED they go down to that detail in terms of getting the thinnest of the single hairs to go into the temple points. Yeah. I think they just get whatever single hairs they have from the microscope and then just put that in. I'm not sure they go down to that level.
Well, that's what microscopes are for, and I know that I think that we talked about this in the chat room before. He's recently started using microscopes in his practice. Maybe roughly 4 months ago, I think, give or take.
I think it was start of the year when he started using it, and then he's gone full out, and every single surgery is done with a microscope now.
Okay. Yeah. And what did you guys talk about that?
I didn't talk to him about it. I mean, to be honest, when you go for a consultation with Dr. Erdogan, it's all very. I wouldn't say it's rushed.
Yeah.
But it's to the point. There's not too much small talk, and he's sitting there. He's got a doctor with him as well, and there's another senior tech there as well as my coordinator. So it's really to the point. I think when I was there, he was having 5 other surgeries at the same time. There's 6 of us. So I was quite surprised with that. I thought it would be about, I think it was 4 that I was told. But when I was there, I realized it was actually 6 of us.
That was the last clinic or actually hospital that he had, and the new one, as I understand it, is bigger, with more ORs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I obviously was. I was at the old one. The new one hasn't been made yet, so I was quite surprised.
Five of the surgeries in the current facility?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Maybe added an OR. When I was there were 4 ORs in the hospital. But regardless, were you able to meet with, or did you run into Dalek?
Dilek, yeah, I did.
Yeah. Okay. Was she working on you at all?
So the person, so when I went into the OR, obviously I met all the technicians that were working on me for the 2 days. So I asked them all specifically how long they've been working here, and the girl that was going to do the extractions on me, she's been there for about 7 years.
Okay.
So she's only been doing extractions for 7 years, nothing else.
Okay.
So that gave me a bit of confidence.
Good.
And Dilek, she was pretty much going from room to room, making sure everything's all right.
Yeah.
And Dr. Erdogan, I didn't see him at all until the incisions, but he watches from a camera, from a monitor in his room, every single operation that's going on, which, I told my coordinator I wasn't too happy about that. But, I guess, the results speak for themselves. He does have really good results from all this.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a consistent operation going on, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. He's one of the I'll say, more active. That's not the right word. I'll say busiest doctors I know as far as his daily routine. Not just talking about the number of surgeries, but he's a very active individual. He's always going from room to room. He's always trying to come up with new approaches. He's always got new ideas. Very smart guy. I like him. I mean, I know him personally, and I like him as a doctor. I like him as a person. I think that he's certainly got his act together. That's for sure. And I'm glad to hear that it was overall a positive experience. I'm sorry that there's some issues as far as like things that you were expecting. That's never good. But
yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm not that concerned about the temples at this point. The main thing is obviously trying to get a nice natural hairline.
Yeah.
And I mean, considering he's put 2,000 grafts in my crown, so he's basically put 2,500 in the hairline and an inch, and just behind that.
Yeah.
He's put 2,000. Actually, he's put 2,100 grafts in the crown, and in the area in between, he's only put 400 because he said I've actually got quite a lot of hair there already.
Yeah.
And hopefully finasteride can boost that as well.
Now, were you taking finasteride before you went, or did you start?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I initially got my consultation about a year ago, he said that I need to get onto finasteride, and so I did it, and I've been on it since probably January.
Okay. Awesome. And sorry, I'm looking at your photos again. And I think that one thing you want to keep in mind is while you may have wanted to have those temple points hit during this pass, you do have on your right side a faint outline of your old temple point. That's still there, and that makes a huge difference. Even if it's just a faint remnant of the old temple point, it's still a temple point. And then on your left side, it's a bit more pronounced. So I think that as far as that goes, it'll be an option, not a requirement.
But if you look at my post-op picture of me sideways, have you seen the way he's done the temples? I'm not the temple points, but the you know what I mean.
You mean the corners of your hairline?
Yeah, I don't understand why he's gone out rather than not in. Is it because if you went in, there might be an empty space behind it and it might look weird?
Not quite sure.
On both sides, actually.
What do you mean?
So my temple, the temples, what do you call them?
The corners.
Yeah, the corners. He hasn't gone straight down from the hairline like a right angle. He's gone away.
Almost like a slight curve.
Yeah, I was hoping for that to be slightly boxed in a bit.
Okay, so you're looking more for a right angle as opposed to the curvature? Yeah.
And
That's
my
the
left
style.
and right hand side are totally different.
Yeah, that's the style. And what you're looking. Okay, so I'm looking at this overhead shot. Your left temple is a little bit of a curvature, while your right temple has got more of a right angle. Is that the issue?
Yeah, I would have preferred both of them to be quite similar.
Yeah. Once this grows out, it'll be difficult for you to see the difference. That's just the way it works. It's very easy to see this now because you got a couple of issues. The hair is shaved, and you have this darker color that's accentuating the pattern that will not be there a year from now. And in fact, a lot sooner than that, it'll disappear. But then when the hair is grown out, also, you won't see this.
That's good.
It'll be a non-issue. Trust me. It's when you look at it now, it is completely different compared to how it's going to look when it grows out. In fact, even the height of the hairline is going to look lower than it does now. Like your swelling is probably all gone by now. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
So your hairline looks lower now than it did 2-3 days after the procedure because the swelling is gone. So everything's kind of constricted.
Well, actually, that brings me on to another thing. If you look at my hairline, my post-op hairline from the front view,
Yeah.
can you notice, where is it gone? That the right side is slightly more higher than the left side.
Let me find your...
It's the front on post-op.
There it is.
Should be towards the top, yeah. I
Your,
don't know what it is. It's just, it's
your
sort of
left
eating away
side
at me a bit.
looks like
Sorry,
it's a
my-
little bit higher, than the right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slightly. But...
Yeah, it's just, I know it's only probably a millimeter, but it's just, it makes my forehead look just that bit, I don't know, wider or bigger. It's just something which annoys me.
Let me look at your befores again, because one thing you need to understand is that... Okay, yeah, so this is what I thought. You have... Actually, let me look at another photo here. Interesting. Let me ask you, okay, so this is going to be a weird question, but let me ask you this. Are you left-handed or are you ambidextrous?
I'm right-handed.
You are right-handed, okay. Because I'm trying to figure out, there's a correlation with if you're right-handed or left-handed versus in relation to your hair growth, the angles.
Okay.
It looks like your left side is more receded than your right side. Is that correct?
You mean right now or
No.
usually?
Before the procedure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's unusual.
Sorry, my left side is.
Yeah, that's unusual. Most men will recede more on the right side than they do on the left side. So that's probably what's going on here is he didn't bring the left side forward enough to match the right side. But here's the thing. You actually don't want it to be completely symmetrical because your face is not symmetrical. So any attempt to build true symmetry out of the hairline will fail because it still won't line up with your facial symmetry. And I've seen this happen many times where doctors or technicians or whoever will overcompensate trying to make something symmetrical that can't be made symmetrical, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't think that the next time I go in a year or two, in 2 years' time, whatever, that I should mention that to him because
no, because you won't even notice it. But once this is grown out, you most likely will not even notice it. It'll be.
But wouldn't that
see.
affect the way that he does the temples the next time because that side's a bit higher?
Again, I think that if you do wind up seeing a difference that you want to have addressed, and he agrees it's worth it, it'll be a small adjustment. It won't require much hair at all.
All right.
I think that the best thing for you at this point is to concentrate on healing, concentrate on putting all this behind you, because you're in for a roller coaster of emotions. As this progresses and heals and develops, there are going to be all kinds of changes between now and 1 year.
Yeah.
So I relate to this as an emotional roller coaster because it is. There will be some days where you'll see something that looks great. You might see some hair sprouting and you'll be like, yeah, that's awesome. And then other days you'll be like, this area doesn't look like it's growing. What's going on? I'm worried. And, it can be depressing. You can't let any of this affect you because it's an ongoing process. It's constantly changing. And there'll be days where it looks great, days it doesn't look so great, and none of it should be taken as anything final because it isn't. It's constantly changing. So once you get to be at, even 8 months, you got more changes to come, more improvements to look forward to. So try to be patient. Try to put this out of your mind as much as possible. It's very difficult, much easier said than done, but as my former consultant and my mentor told me, surgery is the easy part. The hard part is the waiting. Hard part is between, week 1 and month 9, basically.
Yeah, because all I'm doing right now is just looking in the mirror every single day.
Yeah, and you will.
All
That's
day, just looking in the
perfectly
mirror.
normal.
Yeah.
Perfectly normal. And welcome to your
And
life,
you know
because
what?
that's never going to change.
And you know what? No matter what you say, I'm still going to carry on looking.
I know. I have to say this, right? Because people that are watching this are, they're going to be, they need to understand this too. But in the end, you have basically added a new routine to your daily life for the rest of your life. Because even today, it's been 8 years since my last procedure. And I'm still, when I'm styling my hair, I'm always looking. I'm always looking to see what's going on and to, check out my own temple points or, my own hairline. And, but it's a good thing because I'm looking at the things I love about it. Having a hairline again where I didn't. So, yeah, you pretty much doomed yourself for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But it'll work out, and it'll be a good thing to look at your hair every day. But try not to beat yourself up over these little issues, density and, grass coming in, grass not coming in. That's what you need to kind of put out of your mind because that'll drive you nuts. You are on an emotional roller coaster. It'll be up and down, but it'll get better. And just try to avoid, focusing on that too much.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of grafts, if you go down to the last picture that I sent you.
Okay.
So I noticed a red dot just above my hairline on the right-hand side. So I'm not sure what that is. Is that a graft coming out? Because I contacted the clinic and they told me that if it was a graft coming out, I would be bleeding.
True.
So I'm not sure why that's what do you think that is, that red dot?
Hold on, I gotta hit this audio test again. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're back. Okay. Yeah. So I'm looking for the photo. Was it sent an email or is it on this?
I sent it with the same pictures. I sent it with all the pictures. It should be the last one.
Okay, let me look here. Just waiting. Here we go. Just scroll down to the bottom. Oh, okay. Yeah, that one. Got it.
In real life, it's a bit more pronounced, the redness. So in the picture, it looks a bit more faded.
Right.
Yeah.
These are great photos. So I'm seeing that red dot. Yeah, no, that's not a. I don't think it's a lost graft. I think what it is, you see the. And forgive me, guys, in the chat room or watching this. This image is not on the link for Bald Truth Talk where he's got his photos uploaded. But what I'm looking at is a macro view of his recipient area after the grafts were placed, and we're looking at a red spot, not a bloody red spot, just a red discolored spot. And so if you look at all the other grafts, you see that white tissue at the base of each graft as it sticks out of your scalp, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the top of the follicle or the skin that was at the top of the follicle when it was being extracted. And so when it was placed in, that skin that's exposed on the top of the follicle is going to fall off. These form scabs, and looking at this image, it looks like maybe the hair was washed recently, or the scalp was washed recently. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
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 So that skin tissue, it absorbs the water, and a lot of these were probably scabs at one point, but it absorbs water and it turns white, and eventually these will be coming off. And that's what happened here. You had a graft that was placed, and I can even see, if I look closely, I believe I can see the top of a hair shaft just underneath that tissue. Do you see that?
I'm not actually looking at it.
Okay.
It's on my,
Well, when
it's
you
on
get
my
a chance
phone,
to
so I
look,
can't really.
but
Yeah.
I can see the top of a hair shaft on top of that that red spot, just barely through that tissue, and that tells me that the follicles is intact, the skin has sloughed off, and it's just kind of discolored in red because it's healing. That's what that tells me.
All right.
Yeah. So nothing to worry about
Okay.
there. It looks fine. Looks good.
But I mean, overall, you think? I mean, I know it's obviously too early to judge anything, but from the work he's done on me, you think you know, I should have at the very least a decent result?
I think, well, at the very least, decent. Yeah, absolutely, easy to say for sure. Um,
Yeah.
you know, I'm sure it'll be just fine. I'm sure, based on where you started, you'll be happy. You know, this is assuming
Yeah.
good growth and angles and directions and
Yeah.
singles versus multis and all that good stuff. Um, Look, he's got a great reputation, and you certainly did your research. You looked at multiple clinics. You did lots of research online, and um, the record is there to back up the idea that you'll be happy with the final result. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was pretty confident as well. He said, "Well, my crown will look completely different to what it is now
Oh yeah,
with that many grafts."
night and
And
day.
I've got quite a lot of I think I had 1,158 triples, 119 quadruples,
Yeah,
6 quintuples. So hopefully that can sort of give an even better
that's a big
illusion
number of triples. And I'll
Yeah.
tell you I'll tell you the reality of this. Okay, your first surgery is when you
Yeah.
see the biggest improvement. Again, assuming growth and everything is where it needs to be.
Yeah.
That's where you see your night and day difference. So when the crown grows in, if you're not happy with the density, and a lot of guys aren't. I mean, it has nothing to do with the clinic. It's just the crown is more difficult to get the appearance of density than anywhere else on the scalp because of the rotation pattern being built. You can't have density that's quite as high because the grafts have to be flatter if it's being done the right way for more coverage. So, but you'll see your biggest difference in the crown after this procedure. If you have more procedures in the future, if you have another procedure to thicken the crown, it won't be as much of a improvement because you've already gotten yourself, just throwing out an arbitrary number, 75% there. So you see a bigger
Yeah.
difference between now and your 75% versus your 75% and 100%, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and
That's
same thing
good,
with the
that's good.
hairline and the coverage in the frontal section. I mean, that's your big improvement is from this procedure. Everything else from here on out, if you have one or two more procedures, are incremental improvements that might put you over the top. Most likely put you over the top to be happy if you aren't happy 100% after this result. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way that works.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, no worries.
Um,
Look, I'm gonna
I mean-
cut this off because I need to get going. I got other things to do, but look, I want to thank you so much for calling in. It's great. I mean, you finally picked up the phone after all this time.
Yeah.
You called
Plus, I'm
in,
the courage and call
and
you. Yeah.
if I do this on my own again, hopefully I can set it up to where I can get some photos I can share on screen as well. But thank you again for calling in. Do keep me updated. Look for additional shows coming up where you can be in the chat room and let us know how things are going. And thank you again. It's good to hear your voice, and
no problem.
congratulations.
No problem. I'll keep you up. Yeah. Thanks very much. I'll definitely keep you updated.
All right, awesome. Take
Thank
care
you.
now.
See you later. Bye.
All right, cheers. All right, everyone, that's it for this episode of the Joe Tillman Show. Like I said, Spencer Kobren was busy hosting and recording with some doctors due to the ISHRS World Conference being held this year in Los Angeles. So I'm going to give out some websites. That is Bald Truth Talk, a great forum for you to go and share your own results like FSK just did from his procedure with IAHRS accepted member Dr. Karai Erdogan and the team at ASMED. I've been to the clinic twice, or no, once, but I've been Been to the clinic once. I know Dr. Erdogan, great guy, obviously has a fantastic team there at ASMED, consistent results. Excuse me. Let's see what else we got. We've also got, I didn't have time to embed on these different web properties, but I'll still talk about them because they're such great friends of the Bald Truth and myself. That is hairlossexperiences.com, primarily a UK-based forum, but because it's the interwebs, we all have access to it, and it shows because it is growing like crazy. Got a great member base. They have some great doctors that are also sharing their results on hairlossexperiences.com. I love working with that guy. He's not a psychopath. He's one of the good guys. So I highly encourage you to go to hairlossexperiences.com and maybe sign up if you haven't, but let them know that you appreciate their support of me and this program, and of course, Bald Truth with Spencer Kobren. So the other website is bellycapelli.forumfree.it. The admin of that website is also in Los Angeles right now for the ISHRS World Conference. Great website, primarily Italian based. But the great thing is that with modern browsers, you go to the website, it's all translated automatically into English or whatever your preferred language is. That's bellycapelli.forumfree.it. Also, there is American Hair Loss Association, AmericanHairLossAssociation.org. Great resource for general hair loss and hair restoration information. And of course, IAHRS.com, International Alliance of Hair Restoration Surgeons, a great place to start when you're doing your own hair restoration surgeon research. And of course, hairtransplantmentor.com, my website, which I feel is a pretty good resource. It's got the largest and most comprehensive hair loss and hair restoration glossary online. I highly encourage everyone to use this when you don't quite know what it is you're reading. You can refer to it, as a resource so you can learn more about the procedure. Also, I have my own list of doctors that I work with, and a baseline requirement for any clinic that I work with is IAHRS status. This is my third-party validation for the doctors that I work with. We all got to have standards, and that's mine. So check it out, hairtransplantmentor.com. Again, a great place to do your research, a safe place to start, just like IAHRS.com. So that's it. This is the first Joe Tillman show where we actually have call-ins. So I'd like to thank everyone that has called in, and thank you to everyone in the chat room and watching the show after it goes on to my YouTube channel. So thanks a lot. Take care. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like the broadcast, even with this really bad echo. But again, thanks very much and take care. Good night.